All right, so today we're going to be listening to the story A Turkey for Thanksgiving. This is by Eve Bunting, and it's illustrated by Diane DeGroat, who wrote a lot of books like Roses Are Pink, Your Feet Really Stink. Those are really, really famous, some of her best-selling books. And so she did not write this, but she drew the pictures, and they're very, very good. So A Turkey for Thanksgiving. This is the title page. It was Thanksgiving morning. Mr. Moose helped Mrs. Moose set the Thanksgiving table. Sheep will sit here. He likes a chair that's straight up and down, Mr. Moose said. Rabbit here. Porcupine here. Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. He smiled at his wife. Isn't it nice to have friends to share Thanksgiving? Here's Mrs. Moose getting the table ready. Mrs. Moose set 2 paper pilgrims, one at each end of the table. She placed the paper turkey with its great fan of a tail between the candles and stood back. They look good, my dear, Mr. Moose said. Mrs. Moose sighed. Yes, but I wish we had a real turkey. Everyone always has a turkey for Thanksgiving, everyone but us. Mr. Moose nuzzled Mrs. Moose's head. Well, that won't do. I will go this minute and find you a turkey for Thanksgiving. So think about what the problem is. Think about how Mr. Moose plans to solve it. Mr. Moose put on his cap and went out. Mist wandered through the bare trees. The cold made his nose water. Rabbit poked his head from his rabbit hole. Mr. Moose, is it dinner time? Not quite yet. Mrs. Moose wants a turkey. I'm off to find one. Rabbit joined him in 3 quick hops. I'll come too. Here's Rabbit. He's going to join Mr. Moose. Moose's warm breath hung white in front of him. Snow crunched under his hoofs and made little holes that Rabbit jumped over. I see the goats, Rabbit said. Mr. Goat raised his head and spat out the tin can he was chewing. It's at dinner time, he called. Not till I find a turkey, Mr. Moose said. We saw one down by the river, Miss Goat told him, and Mr. Goat added, a fat one. What do you think they want to do with this turkey? What do you do with turkey on Thanksgiving? Sounds like they might want to eat him. Looking for a fat turkey. The goats leaped down from their perch. We'll show you. Sheep was farther up the hillside, looking round as a fur ball in his winter coat. Is it dinner time? He bellowed. First I have to find a turkey, Mr. Moose bellowed back. There's a turkey nest on the riverbank. Sheep called. Wait for me. Oh, hold on. Lost the page. Here they are looking for the turkey. The earth smelled of ice and moss as they crunched along. Above them, a crow hung, black as a puff of wood smoke. Porcupine was hiding in the underbrush. It's you, he said, and put his quills down. We're off to get a turkey for Mrs. Moose. Mr. Moose explained. Do you want me to come? I'm slow, Porcupine said. Pick me up on your way back. Who'd you want to pick you up? Sheep asked, and laughed his bleat of a laugh. I'll wait, Porcupine told Mr. Moose. Here's all. No turkey here. Do not disturb. Come back after Thanksgiving. They saw Turkey's nest right away, and Turkey himself peering over the top of it. Turkey! Turkey! Mr. Moose called in his sweetest voice. Ah! Turkey blundered from his nest and ran. Mr. Moose lumbered after him. Turkey, don't run. We just want you for Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey ran faster. Why do you think Turkey ran faster? Look at his face. He's probably scared, don't you think? Oh, here he is. There's a fork in his hand. They caught Turkey. Mr. Moose saw the red and blue sheen of Turkey's neck. Turkey's tail brushed cones of snow behind him as he tried to fly. Too fat, Mr. Goat said. Turkey's legs bent in the middle as he fell. Mr. Moose put a booted hoof on his head and smiled his great toothy smile. I hope you don't have other plans for Thanksgiving, Turkey. He is. Is Turkey going willingly? He looks like he's having to be pushed. He helped Turkey up. My wife won't mind that you're too fat. He said, let's go. It's getting close to dinner time. They all looked so excited about Turkey coming. They marched Turkey in front. I'm sorry about this, for I can see you don't want to come, Mr. Moose said, but I must insist. A promise is a promise. Look, how does Turkey look here? Does he look happy to be there? There was a wreath of dried fruit on the moose's door. Inside the house was filled with Thanksgiving smells. Mr. Moose hid Turkey behind him. Look who I brought, Mrs. Moose, he said. Sheep, the goats, rabbit, and porcupine. And ta-da! He pushed Turkey around in front of him. For you, a turkey for Thanksgiving. Mrs. Moose clapped her hoofs. I'm so happy to have you, Turkey. Thank you, Mr. Moose. Now everything is perfect. Shall we sit? Sheep asked, heading for the straight up and down chair. Let's, Mrs. Moose pointed. Rabbit here. Porcupine here. Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. And look, I brought a chair from the other room in hopes of a turkey. A chair? Stammered Turkey. Right next to me, Mrs. Moose said. Light the candles, Mr. Moose. There were bowls of acorns and alfalfa sprouts, dried since summer. There were willow bark and cured grasses and wild parsley. There were pressed leaves, thin and pale, as new as ice on a pond. I hope you find something here to your liking, Mr. Turkey, Mrs. Moose said. I wasn't sure of your taste. You are kind to worry about my taste, Turkey said. I thought you were worrying about how I taste. So what did Turkey think they were going to do with him? Yeah, they thought they were going to eat him. Heavens no, Mr. Moose smiled his big toothy smile and filled everyone's cup with a cold spring water. It's so nice to have friends around the table at Thanksgiving. Turkey's waddles wobbled. It's even nicer to be at your table and not on it, he said. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, Turkey. He thought they were going to eat him. But did they eat him? No, they didn't. That's a good story.